Hello and welcome back to the Chiefs Corner, where we're on episode 3 of How to Build a Banger. So the next piece of equipment that we're on is the driver's floor plate. So basically, as it says on the tin, it is a plate of steel that is there to protect the floor where your feet go. They normally go in, well, basically flat against the floor, have a couple of sides. There you can see one side over there by the gearbox tunnel, or it would be a gearbox tunnel if it was rear wheel drive, and there's another plate here that runs across the sill, and then another plate that goes behind the pedals. So the reason that you want one of these, well, basically if you have a heavy following, or if you jack someone up, or if you get a head on, your wheel could come through the bulkhead, take your feet out. The bulkhead itself could come in on you from the engine, or the gearbox tunnel could also twist and take your feet out, and you definitely don't want broken feet in the day at the end of the day. So what's the rules? So it's compulsory now to have a floor plate. It used to be an optional thing, so it's just your preference, but now it's compulsory. So the thickness of the steel, it can't be any bigger than 6mm thick, according to the rules, and it can't be welded in, it has to be bolted. So on this one, it's just bolted in 4 times, one in each corner. At the bottom of the car, so underneath, there are 4 square washers, so that the bolts don't rip through the floor, and it keeps it nice and secure. Although these bolts are pointing up, it might be better if you had them pointing down, because you might smack your heel or whatever. The only reason I've put them up is otherwise you have to cut them off at the bottom, and I couldn't be bothered doing it. So there's no rule that you have to have it either up or down facing. The other thing that we've got here on my one is just some welded chain on the floor plate with a bit of with a few links on it. That is for your crotch strap on the harness, to attach there. So you've got that. So yes, it can only be bolted, it can't be welded. So the sides, they can go up the door sill, like I said, so I've got one there, and they can go up the gearbox tunnel, but it can't be any higher than 8 inches to the top of the bulkhead, so that means there. So it has to be, it can't go up any higher within 8 inches at the top. Now, these rules are obviously the rules, and if you break them, you are going to get told to either cut it or whatever. I've never seen anyone take a close look on my floor plates, so just be aware of that. The sill side plate, it can only be as high as the sill, so it can't come up any higher than that. What else have we got? You can, however, have a plate that links your floor plate to one of the bolts on the A-pillar of your door plate. So what it means is you can have a plate that goes from there to your floor plate, so that it's all connected, so your door plate is also anchored in with your floor plate there. So again, the steel that you can use can't be any bigger than 6mm again, and it can't be it's got to be bolted through the A-pillar door plate, so we already know that. And it can be welded or bolted to the floor plate. So basically you can have an extension that goes up to that bolt there, onto your floor plate, and that is it. So 6mm, protect your feet, don't break your feet, put a few holes in there, and it can only be bolted in, it can't be welded in, but make sure you put the sides on. Now you probably noticed that there is these triangular bits here on the floor plate, so it's welded to the bottom and to the side there. What that does is, if you only had the weld on in between the flat and the upright, if your sill came in, then there's only that weld there to keep this in place. With that gusset there, it just means you've got extra sort of strengthen the actual side plate there. So there's one gusset there, you can see one there, and then the same again on the other side. You've got one at the end there and one here, just to keep things nice and secure. And then that obviously goes up behind the pedals, gives it a bit more protection if the bulkhead was to come in. So so there you go, episode 3, the floor plate. Next episode we're going to be looking at the bonnet and the boot and what you can and can't do to keep it secure. So make sure you leave a like, ask any questions in the comments below, and subscribe to keep up to date with how to build a banger on the Chiefs Corner. Alright guys, take it easy.